Hi, my name is Jason. Today we're going to be reviewing the silencer motorized follow focus made by 24Shots. This is their very first production run of this product, and we looked around online for some reviews and we really couldn't find any, so we hope that this review will guide you in your decision if this is right for you. Now, the silencer is a motorized follow focus, and what that allows you to do is free up your left hand. Traditionally, a follow focus will be mounted here to the side, so when you're at your rig on your shoulder, you lose a nice solid point of contact of this handle. So, you know, the creators thought, well, why not have a little trigger mechanism here so that you can keep all your stable points of contact while doing your rack focusing. And they did a good job because they have a nice mounting system that adapts to all sorts of lenses. As most of you know, we shoot with Panasonic GH4s and it adapts to the micro four thirds lenses beautifully. There are two ways you can accomplish focus on your lenses with this system. The standard version comes with a drive belt that you attach, and they also have an optional gear drive. Now, the silencer model that we have is the Lite version. They also have a Pro version having a little bit more power in the motor, but I am happy to say that the Lite motor actually is very, very strong. It had no problems focusing any of our lenses. It comes with a nice little trigger here, and the great thing about this trigger is that it can mount to just about anything in cylindrical shape, and it's fairly simple to operate. You simply either pull the trigger or push the trigger, and that will activate the motor. Our experience with the silencer Lite has been fairly positive, but there's a couple things that we think they could probably improve upon on their second version. Number one is the trigger sensitivity. While the great thing about this is that it actually has varying degrees of sensitivity, the one thing that we saw was you would lightly pull on the trigger and the motor wouldn't necessarily move until about halfway. But even at halfway, it only kind of activates the motor a little bit, and it doesn't actually move the lens until you push it about 3/4 of the way. So we would like to see that it's, you know, fully sensitive in that as soon as we put a little bit of pressure on it, that it activates immediately. The second thing is the length of the motor rod. As you can see, it is quite long. And if you shoot with mirrorless cameras like the Blackmagic Pocket Camera or the GH4 or, you know, any of the new mirrorless, those lenses are much smaller. And as you can tell, this kind of protrudes a lot more. Now, it doesn't affect us too much because we have a whole rig system, but if you're running and gunning, you probably don't want a huge rod sticking at you if you're trying to, you know, look at the electric viewfinder. So one thing that we would like to see is that 24Shots would offer different packages so people with varying camera sizes can purchase accordingly. And the third is the control box that comes with the silencer. Now, I'm not really sure if they can actually make this any smaller because it does house the battery and all the electronic you know, circuit boards and stuff, but it is a little bit on the big side, and for people that are mounting it to a rig, it does become a challenge to find the best place to mount it. So hopefully in future versions they will have a slightly smaller control box to make it easier for everybody. And the last thing that we would like to see some improvement on is the gear drive system. Remember when I said that the motor is actually quite strong even in the Lite version? It's actually almost too strong. If you have a lens that has a hard stop, let's say, and you're using the gear drive option, what happens is once you hit that hard stop and if you didn't realize it, the motor will keep going and this thing will actually knock out of place. As well as this connecting piece right here between the rod and the motor. Even that will get slightly moved out of place. And the problem with that is when you have it locked down with one of these screws, the screws will actually start to strip. And in our case, in our testings, it did strip. And the great thing is we contacted 24Shots, and Bob, the creator, was very, very responsive, and he actually sent us out some replacement screws immediately, which was great. But we decided to go with an all metals construction thumb screw, just because it seems to hold up a little bit better than the ones that came with the package. So if you shoot most of your footage with a shoulder rig like this one, I would definitely recommend just picking up the silencer follow focusing system. Not only is it affordable, but it gives you that hand back and allows you to have more steady shots.